Welcome to our YouTube channel, Dream Dynamics.
Welcome back to Dream Dynamics. You're here because you're tired of giving your time, energy, and love to people who don't seem to appreciate it. You've reached a point where you feel stretched too thin, undervalued, and taken for granted. Deep down, you know it's time for a change. A real, lasting change that shifts the way you see yourself and the way others see you. This isn't just another day to hear generic advice. Today, we're stepping into a new mindset, a mindset that's powerful, calm, and rooted in self-respect. Here's a truth many of us overlook. People value what they can't easily have. When you're constantly available, when you give too much of yourself without limits, people start to see you as ordinary. It's human nature. They take for granted what's always there. But the moment you take a step back, everything shifts. They start to notice your absence, and with it, they begin to understand your worth. This isn't about getting revenge or trying to make anyone feel guilty. It's about rediscovering your own value and giving yourself the respect you deserve. Think about it this way. Rare things are more valued. Luxury items, for example, aren't just expensive because of their quality. They're desirable because not everyone can have them. The same logic applies to relationships. When you're always there, people feel like they already know everything about you. You become predictable, like a book they've read too many times. But when you step back, when you choose to become a little less available, something magical happens. You add an air of mystery to your presence. Suddenly, people realize they don't know you as well as they thought. That curiosity makes them pay attention in a way they haven't before. This is the power of absence. Imagine the sun. It shines every day, and most of us take it for granted. But when the clouds cover the sky, when the sun is hidden, we suddenly miss its warmth and light. That's what absence does. It makes people realize what they've lost. It helps them understand the value of something they've overlooked. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop them, they realize what they've lost. It helps them understand the value of something they've overlooked. When you stop explaining yourself, when you stop being available all the time, you destroy everything. That disruption is where your power lies. Now, let's talk about silence. Silence can be one of your greatest strengths if you learn to use it wisely. While others are constantly sharing their thoughts, venting their feelings, or explaining themselves, you can hold back and stay quiet. This doesn't mean you're cold or distant. It means you control. It creates a pause that others can't ignore. People start to wonder what you're thinking. They replay old conversations, trying to figure you out. That's when they realize they don't know you as well as they thought, and that realization can be powerful. But this isn't about playing mind games. It's about self-respect. Silence gives you the space to think and reflect. It keeps you from reacting to everything and helps you stay calm and composed. You don't need to explain every decision you make. You don't need to justify your feelings. You're not a book for everyone to read. Instead, think of yourself as a fortress. Strong, steady, and not open to just anyone. A fortress doesn't have revolving doors that let everyone in and out freely. It's guarded and respected. That's how you need to think of yourself. If you allow everyone easy access to your time and energy, people might start to take you for granted. But when you set boundaries, when you protect yourself, people begin to see your worth. If someone asks why you're less available, you don't need to give a detailed explanation. A simple "I'm focusing on myself" is enough. Let them wonder. Boundaries don't push people away, they make them respect you more. Relationships are like magnets. If one magnet chases another, it pushes the other away. But when the first magnet holds still, the other is naturally drawn closer. That's how human dynamics work too. When you stop chasing people or seeking their validation, you become the kind of person they're drawn to. Confidence and self-respect are magnetic. They make others want to be around you without you having to ask for their attention. The Stoics understood this principle well. Their philosophy is simple. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. You can't force someone to appreciate you or respect you, but you can control how much of your time and energy you give them. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to your own peace. Learning to say no is one of the greatest forms of self-respect. It allows you to focus on what truly matters and conserve your energy for the things that bring you joy. Picture yourself as a mountain. No matter how strong the winds blow or how loud the thunder roars, the mountain stands firm. That's the kind of strength you're building. Steady, calm, and unshakable. When you stop reacting to every little thing, when you stay grounded and composed, people notice. They see the strength in your silence and the power in your presence. As you step back, stay silent, and focus on yourself, you'll feel a shift. You'll realize that your worth has never been tied to someone else's attention or approval. Your value comes from how deeply you respect yourself. Your silence and absence will make people reflect on what you've brought into their lives. This is your time to stop chasing others and start building a life where people earn their place in your world. You don't need to explain yourself, justify your choices, or seek anyone's approval. From now on, let your silence speak louder than your words, and let your absence remind people of your worth. This is a new chapter of strength, peace, and self-respect. You've got this. People may believe they know everything about you, but in reality, they only know what you've allowed them to see. This is your power, the ability to hold back and preserve your mystery. When you share too much about yourself, whether it's your thoughts, emotions, or plans, you take away the curiosity that keeps others interested. On the other hand, when you stay reserved and let people wonder, you create a sense of intrigue that pulls them closer to you. Revealing less doesn't mean you're shutting people out or being cold. It means being selective about who gets access to your energy and thoughts. Not everyone deserves to know every detail of your life. Think of yourself as a fortress, strong, protected, and valuable. Fortresses don't allow just anyone to walk in freely. They stand tall and guarded, commanding respect. When you maintain this mindset, people naturally start to value your time and presence more, because they realize not everyone gets it. Silence is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. It's not just about being quiet, but about creating space to reflect and regain control over your energy. When you choose silence instead of reacting to every situation, you show self-respect and emotional strength. It sends a message that you don't need to explain or justify yourself to anyone. This kind of self-retreat shifts the dynamic in your relationships. When you're constantly available and reactive, people tend to take you for granted. They assume you'll always be there to respond or to support them. But when you step back, they start noticing what they've lost. Silence creates a void, and that void speaks louder than words. It's not about punishing anyone, but about protecting your peace and energy. It's important to stop seeking validation from others because your worth isn't tied to someone else's approval or attention. When you stop chasing after people's opinions, you begin to feel a new sense of freedom and confidence. You realize you don't need anyone else to make you feel valuable because your value comes from within. When you take a step back and stop explaining yourself, people start to notice your absence. They begin to reflect on the role you played in their lives and the support you offered. Absence creates appreciation because it reminds people of what they might lose. Imagine the sun shining every day. People may begin to take it for granted. But when the clouds cover the sky and the light disappears, they suddenly miss its warmth. That's the same effect your presence has when you step back. By not revealing everything about yourself, you create an air of mystery that keeps people curious. Humans are naturally drawn to what they don't fully understand. If you share every thought and detail, you take away the opportunity for them to wonder. But when you stay silent and let them guess, they become more intrigued and drawn to you. This isn't about shutting people out, but about creating balance in your relationships. You're showing others that your life and energy are valuable, and not everyone gets unlimited access to them. When you hold back, people learn to respect you more. To help ground yourself in this mindset, you can repeat a simple mantra. I am a fortress, not a doormat. I step back. I stay silent. I let them beg. Say this to yourself whenever you feel the urge to over-explain, chase, or seek approval. It's a reminder that your presence is a privilege, not something to be taken lightly. As you embrace this approach, you'll notice changes in how people treat you. They'll start respecting your boundaries, appreciating your presence, and valuing your energy. But most importantly, you'll begin to respect yourself in a way you never have before. This isn't about distancing yourself from everyone or playing mind games. It's about prioritizing your well-being and no longer relying on others to define your worth. You'll find a peace that isn't easily shaken and a calm that isn't dependent on someone else's attention. This is the beginning of a new chapter where you focus on your happiness, trust in your value, and let the right people come into your life without any chasing. Let them wonder. Let them feel your absence. Let them reflect on what they've lost. You don't need to explain or prove yourself anymore. Your strength lies in your ability to hold back, to stay silent, and to believe in your own worth. Stand firm in this belief and watch how the world reshapes itself around you. When you go silent, you unknowingly reintroduce the scarcity of your presence. Scarcity creates desire. It creates a longing. People start to crave what they can no longer take for granted. This is your opportunity to reclaim your privacy, your peace, and your autonomy. Ask yourself, are you ready to step back, to leave them wondering, to let them feel the absence of your energy and presence that they once took for granted? This is a bold move, but it's a powerful one, and it's yours to make. Imagine the impact when they start to notice you're not at their beck and call anymore, when they begin to realize that your attention, your time, your energy were never a given. They were a gift. By maintaining your silence, by stepping back, you aren't just protecting your inner peace, you're teaching them its value. You're showing them that being in your world is a privilege, not a right. That if they want a place in your life, they'll need to earn it, not through words but through actions. Whether or not they ever do earn that place is irrelevant. This silence, this mystery is for you. You don't owe anyone your truth, and you definitely don't need to explain your boundaries. You are a force, and the more you embrace this power, the more you'll protect the peace that you've worked so hard to create. You'll learn that while your silence may confuse some, it will make your presence even more significant. By creating space, by pulling back, and not constantly being available, you show others that your attention is something they must earn, something that shouldn't be handed out without thought. And by keeping them guessing, you're not just keeping your peace, you're reinforcing your worth. This silence is a form of respect, not just for yourself, but for others too. Let respect be a thing that is earned, not demanded. And if they don't recognize that, that's not your concern anymore. Yeah. Let it resonate deeply within you. I move in silence. I owe no one my truth. Say it out loud. Let it settle in your soul. The next time you feel tempted to over-explain, to reach out or overshare, stop. Instead, remember that your silence speaks more than words ever could. It is powerful, it is purposeful, and it will protect the peace you've fought so hard to build. You don't need to broadcast every moment or explain every choice. Your absence is felt, and it's okay to let others feel it. When you stand in your silence, you begin to reclaim your autonomy. If this message resonates with you, if you're ready to take a step back, to reclaim your privacy and protect your peace, then claim this mindset. Let it become your guiding principle. Repeat it to yourself whenever you feel that urge to justify yourself, whenever you're tempted to make excuses for your boundaries. Let your silence be the loudest statement you ever make. Leave a comment below with the phrase, I move in silence. I owe no one my truth. Let this be the beginning of your journey toward a life that's fully yours, lived on your own terms. Now let's talk about time. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have, yet it's often one of the most misused. We give it away freely, without considering its true worth. We're going to start to find what's missing. That means the process you stopped allowing yourself to shut down before the world. Can you guess what an alternative meaning? People value what they have to work for, and that includes your time. When you make them earn your time, they begin to respect it more. Time is finite, and by protecting it, you teach others how to treat it. Think of all the hours you've wasted, waiting for a message, shifting your plans to accommodate someone who doesn't even value your presence. Think about all the times you've put your life on hold because someone else snapped their fingers. But today, you stop that. Today, you take back your time. You make it valuable again. Your time is yours to control, to direct toward people, projects, and goals that contribute to your growth, peace, and joy. No one should have the right to take your time without earning it first. By valuing your time, you elevate your sense of self-worth. You stop being someone who bends to the will of others and start becoming the architect of your own schedule. This isn't about playing games or making others chase you. It's about showing the world that your time is something sacred, something precious. Make your time a priority, and those who truly respect you will understand. They'll begin to realize that your time is not a free gift to be handed out without thought. Instead of giving it away freely, you'll choose where it goes, toward things and people who deserve it. When you guard your time, you elevate your worth. Your life begins to revolve around your terms, not someone else's. Your time is your own, and when you reclaim it, you step into your own power. You stop being at the mercy of others' schedules, and you start creating your own rhythm. You're harder to reach, more focused, more driven, and people are drawn to that. They'll see that you're not easily accessible anymore, and that scarcity will make them appreciate you more. Say it with me. My time belongs to me. Let this be your mantra, the one you repeat every time you're tempted to compromise your boundaries or overextend yourself for others. Write it down, let it sink in, and remind yourself that your time is sacred. When you live by this principle, others will notice your shift in energy, and they'll begin to respect your boundaries more. Next, we need to talk about standards. Too often we settle for less than we deserve. We accept half-hearted efforts, minimal attention, or lackluster effort, hoping that maybe someday things will change. But here's the hard truth. You get what you tolerate. If you keep accepting scraps, that's all you'll ever get. Imagine sitting at a grand banquet and being tossed a few crumbs. Would you feel satisfied? Would you feel respected? Probably not. And yet, that's what we do when we accept minimal effort from others. It's time to stop tolerating breadcrumbs. It's time to raise the bar. When you raise your standards, you are not asking for too much. You are simply acknowledging your own worth. If you continue to settle for less than what you deserve, you are sending a message to yourself and to the world that your value is negotiable. But the truth is, your value is not up for negotiation. You are worthy of the full meal, not just a quick bite. Raising your standards is not about being difficult. It's about knowing that you deserve more. When you stop accepting excuses and half-hearted efforts, you begin to demand respect, appreciation, and genuine connection. People will respect you more when you refuse to accept less than you deserve. Those who truly value you will rise to meet your expectations, and the ones who can't meet them, they'll fall away. Say it with me. I demand more and settle for nothing less. Let this be your declaration. When you raise the bar, you take back your power. You stop shrinking to fit someone else's expectations. You stop settling for anything less than what you deserve. You are worthy of more, and it's time to demand it. Lastly, we return to the power of silence. There's immense strength in saying nothing. It's easy to believe that we owe everyone an explanation for our actions and decisions. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone anything. Silence, when used intentionally, sends a much stronger message than words ever could. It says, I am in control of my story. When you stop explaining, you take back your power. You stop seeking validation for your choices and instead make them because they're right for you. Silence forces others to reflect on their actions and behaviors, and it makes them question why they ever took you for granted. Every time you feel the urge to explain yourself, stop. Instead, remind yourself that you don't need to justify your choices. Say, I move in silence. No explanations needed. Let this become your new mantra, your new reality. Your silence is your strength, and by protecting your peace, you demonstrate confidence in your choices. When you embrace this mindset, you begin to protect your energy fiercely. You stop justifying your boundaries and start enforcing them. Your silence becomes the strongest weapon you have. And as others sense this shift, they'll realize they can't mess with your peace. Claim your silence. Guard your time. Raise your standards. And live unapologetically, because you are worth every ounce of respect, attention, and energy that you give to yourself. This is your journey, and it's time to make it your own. Let them wonder. Let them question. Let them feel the absence, because you'll be so focused on your own growth and peace that whether they notice or not won't even matter. Every time you choose yourself over someone who doesn't see your worth, you reclaim a part of your soul. It's like lighting a fire inside you that no one else can extinguish. Think about it. Each step you take towards your glow, whether that means learning something new, setting healthier boundaries, embracing personal growth, or simply finding peace in your own company, is a step closer to the life you were always meant to live. And here's the best part. You're doing all of this in silence. There's no need for grand announcements, no need to explain your journey to anyone. Your energy, your growth, and your transformation will speak for themselves. You'll be so far ahead on your path, they won't even know what hit them. They'll be left behind, wondering if they ever had a chance to catch up with the version of you that's emerging. You are becoming a force to be reckoned with, unstoppable in your own skin. That kind of power can't be ignored. People will notice, but by the time they do, they'll be too far behind to do anything about it. They'll wonder where you came from and why they didn't see it coming. But the truth is, you were always meant for this. You are creating a life on your terms, a life that's rooted in your values, your vision, and your peace. The most powerful thing about your transformation is that you're doing it quietly. You're not seeking validation or waiting for approval. Your energy speaks louder than any words ever could. People who didn't understand your worth will be left to wonder what went wrong. They'll regret not appreciating you when they had the chance. And that's fine, because you didn't need them to begin with. Write this in the comments below if you feel it deep within. I glow up for me. This mantra is your reminder that this journey is yours and no one else's. Every time you're tempted to seek validation, remind yourself of your purpose. I glow up for me. Let those who doubted you sit in their regret as you move forward unapologetically. You're evolving into the best version of yourself, and that's the only thing that matters. People will notice, but you're not here for their attention. You're here for your own growth. And let's talk about boundaries, because they're an essential part of this glow-up. Ever feel like you're stuck in a loop of people-pleasing, bending over backward for everyone except yourself? Well, it's time to snap out of that cycle. Here's the thing. Every time you say yes when you really want to say no, you're trading away a piece of your peace. You're allowing someone else to write the story of your life, while your own needs and dreams sit quietly in the background, waiting to be acknowledged. It's time to stop that. Because here's the harsh reality. If you don't set boundaries, people will set them for you. And trust me, they will. Until you're nothing more than a convenience, a tool for someone else's agenda. Learning to say no isn't about being cold or unapproachable. It's about taking back control. It's about putting yourself first and showing others that you respect your time, energy, and peace. When you say no and mean it, you send a message loud and clear. I value myself too much to compromise my peace. The people who truly respect you won't ask for explanations or try to change your mind. They'll honor your boundaries. But the ones who keep pushing, who try to guilt-trip you or manipulate you into giving in, they reveal their true intentions. They're not interested in your well-being. They're only interested in what they can get from you. Here's the truth. Saying no is a powerful act. It's not just about turning down an invite or declining a favor. It's a declaration of independence. Every no you say is a yes to your priorities, to your growth, to your future. When you say no, you're giving yourself the space to focus on what truly matters to you. And let's be honest. When was the last time you said yes just to avoid confrontation, only to regret it later? Imagine how different your life would be if you replaced even half of those automatic yeses with firm, unapologetic no's. It would feel like lifting a heavy weight off your shoulders. Every no that protects your time and energy is a yes to your future. It's a yes to the life you want to create. So here's the mantra I want you to remember. My time is precious. I say no and mean it. This isn't just a phrase, it's a declaration of self-respect. It's a mantra that reclaims your power. Write it down, say it out loud, and feel the strength in those words. I say no and mean it. You no longer have to justify yourself. Your time, energy, and peace are yours to protect. And now, let's talk about emotional untouchability. Have you ever noticed how some people crave control over your emotions? They'll throw in a few words, ignore your message, or push your buttons just to see if they can get a reaction from you. But here's the secret weapon: emotional untouchability. When you stay calm and unbothered, you take back control over your peace. It's like a superpower. He who angers you controls you. Let that sink in. If someone can stir your peace, they have power over you. But the moment you choose not to react, you take back that power. Emotional independence is your armor. It's not about being cold or indifferent. It's about choosing who and what gets a reaction from you. When you remain calm and composed, it drives people crazy because they can't figure you out. Nothing is more powerful than someone who doesn't give them the reaction they expect. The truth is, those who seek to control you feed off your reactions. If they see that you're affected, they've won a piece of your energy. But when you stop reacting, the game is over. Here's your mantra for emotional strength. I am in control. Let these words become your daily armor. They'll remind you that no one has the power to disturb your inner calm without your permission. Write it down, say it out loud, and feel the strength in those words. I am in control. Let them fuel your confidence and help you stand strong in the face of any challenge. And here's the final piece of the puzzle. Be the prize. For too long, you've been running around, chasing after people, seeking their validation, bending over backward to get noticed. But here's the truth. When you stop chasing, something incredible happens. You become the prize, the one they can't quite figure out. People are drawn to what they can't have. They're mesmerized by confidence, by self-respect, by someone who knows their worth and refuses to settle for less. Instead of running after validation, stop and stand still. Be a magnet. Attract what you deserve. You don't need to chase anyone's affection or approval. When you know your worth, your presence alone will draw people in. You're no longer looking for scraps of attention. You've built a world that doesn't revolve around anyone else's approval. And that self-sufficiency, it's magnetic. Being the prize means setting high standards, walking away from things that no longer serve you, and never compromising your worth for anyone else's half-hearted efforts. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. When people realize you're no longer available for their nonsense, they'll start chasing you. They'll wonder if it's too late, and by then, it will be. Because you're not waiting anymore. You're standing tall in your power. Here's the mantra to remind yourself. I attract. I don't chase. Say it with conviction. Let it fuel your confidence. You are the prize. You are the one they'll regret losing. Write it in the comments below. I attract. I don't chase. Let this be your anthem, the reminder that you don't need to chase after anything. Everything you deserve will come to you. If this message has hit home for you, and you're ready to stop chasing and start thriving, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this journey with someone who needs it. Together, we're building a community that's rooted in strength, confidence, and unwavering self-worth. Let's rise together and build the lives we deserve.